The delivery girl comes running and says, "Please, both of you help me." The old woman says, "Why are you in such a hurry? What help can we give you?" Mala says, "You both will understand everything." And she sits between them. Henry says, "What is going on here?" Mala speaks on the phone. "Mom, look, this is my boyfriend and his mom is sitting here. We came to hang out Henry's." Mom says, "How are you?" Mala says, "Mom, I told you do not worry. You stay worried all the time, thinking when I will get married. Look now, I made you talk to my future mother-in-law and my boyfriend on call. So do not worry. We are going to enjoy. We will talk later." Both mother and son say goodbye. Mala stands up and says, "Please forgive me. I was helpless." Henry says, "It is nothing like that." Mala picks up her things and leaves. Haley and Young stop her. Haley says, "Look, this is my class fellow. She used to be a topper. Now look at her." Young laughs and says, "Yes, I can see. Her condition is like a beggar, because people like her can never succeed." Haley says, "I was lucky. I got a rich husband who works in a great company." She says to Mala, "Do you even know in how big a company my husband works?" Young says, "Let me tell her where I work." Young brags and says, "I work in the biggest company of this city." Haley says, Yes, my husband works in Nelson, the biggest company." Young says, "Yes, I work in Nelson Group." Haley says, "Do you know how big she used to talk in class?" Mala says, "You should not care what I say." Mala starts leaving. Young pushes her and says, "Where are you going?" Henry and his mom catch. Mala Henry says, "Cheap man, are you not ashamed? Mistreating a girl?" Young says, "You do not know who I am. I work at the biggest company, this city. You cannot talk to me like that." Henry says, "I do not care who you are. You cannot treat a girl like this." Haley says, "Do you even know my husband works in the biggest Nelson company? He can do anything." Young says, "You will not even know the name of the owner because people like you have no worth." Haley says, "True." Henry says, "When you find out who I am, you will only regret." Young says angrily, "Cheap man, you cannot do anything to me. Are you out of your mind? And all because of this cheap girl who has no worth, who is a beggar and does delivery work all day." Mala gets angry and says, "Shut up," and walks forward. Henry stops her. Young says, "Cheap people, you cannot harm us." The old woman says, "Do you know, my son is the owner of the company where you work, and you are talking so big, your jobs are finished." Henry says, "Do not come to work from tomorrow. Your jobs are done." Young holds Henry's hand and says, "Boss, please forgive us. We did not know you are the owner. We made a mistake." Henry pulls his hand and says, "People like you have no place in my company, so get lost and do not come again." Young hits himself and says, "It will not happen again." Henry says, "Nothing can happen now, so leave." Haley leaves angrily, and Young runs after her. Mala says, "Thank you so much." Henry says, "They were doing wrong to you." Mala says, "All right, I will leave now." The old woman says, "I am looking for a girl for my son. Will you marry him?" Mala says, "How can I?" Henry says, "You are beautiful and simple. I wanted a girl like you, so I will marry you." Mala says, "But I am a poor girl. Why would you marry me?" Henry says, "I wanted a simple girl like you. That is why I will marry you." The old woman says, "My son likes you. You should marry him. Come, let's go." They all leave. Please give your precious feedback on our video. Thank you.